It's crazy shit like that makes you think about like, if I get another chance, what should I do or what could I do different? Like
for sure. It, you know, just like thinking like how fast life can change and just like fucking, you know, I was good. I was eating steak and lobster. We were about to go fuck some
yeah,
hookers.
I was gonna say like, he didn't have it bad in jail, dude. Like he was chilling. Like he met some boys in there. Like
yeah, I ended up being with all the cartel and, you know, we had a phone in there. I mean, it wasn't like I was eating steak and lobster in there by no means, but I was with
pictures just with his cellmates.
Yeah, dude.
Like, dude,
it was cool. Like I got lucky. Yeah, I got lucky and we had phones in there and I was able to use a phone every day to check in with my family and shit. And
that's cool.
That was like the little things in there, you know, like
you appreciate those.
Yeah, dude. And like those 30 days was like doing dog years, you know, like it was feeling like, I felt like I did hard time, like 3 years, you know, by the time I got out, I was fucked up in the head, just like eating and just stressing yourself out, just thinking, you know,
like doing 2 to 5.
Yeah. Just like, fuck dude, you do 2 to 5 years right now. My life's done. You know, my motorcycle career, I just was like starting to peak for my Harley shit, you know, or just starting to like make a name for myself. And I'm like, everything's gone. By the time I get out, it's time to go get a job and no one's going to even know who the fuck I am. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna miss my little brother's graduation for high school. Like just all the dumbest little shit.
Everything you start thinking about.
You don't think about like that much shit when you're on this side, and then all of a sudden you're locked up. You're like, fuck, am I ever gonna see my dad again or my mom? Like, just the little things. And but man, it felt so good to get out. I was like, fuck,
I think how many days after where was everyone at Chip and Mikey's place?
Same day.
He got out of prison, and there was like a ride day or something. Like we all showed up at a San Diego Customs right here in like downtown San Diego, and he comes out and he's just like the biggest smile on his face. Like,
I was so happy, smoking weed with everyone
right away. He's just rolling blunts, he's just high fiving everyone. He jumps on his bike that just got out of impound. The thing looked like the biggest pile of shit, and he just starts doing the gnarliest burnouts and rollers and wheelies on this thing.
I was felt good. That
was. Motor had sand in it. The motor had sand and rocks in the motor, and he was out there riding it.
Bro, I have so many questions. Dude, I don't even know where to start.
I told you about these dudes. They're wild,
bro.
Dude.
I was not expecting that story. I heard this story, but I did not really expect it to be that crazy. I thought it was another typical, you go with your boys on a bachelor party, everybody goes to jail for the night, you come out, you're back at Hong Kong.
Yeah.
I did not think I didn't think it was going to be this crazy.
His one night was 35 days.
30 days in jail.
Think about 40 grand at Hong Kong, what I could have done.
You would have been the king forever. We'd still be talking about it. They'd have a statue of you.
Hey, you know what was cool? One of my cellmates in there was one of the fucking dudes at Hong Kong that brings you your drinks and shit.
The Chinese food and drinks.
So it's so funny, but fuck, man, I could have had the time of my life.
Okay, bro. So you're in jail, and how do you link with the cartel? How do they accept you? Like, walk me through this.
Yeah, honestly. So I go to my first cell, and I'm sitting there. They like have a holding cell, kind of like placing you in the prison where you're gonna go. If you're gonna go with the killers, you're gonna go with the shooter.
Were you scared?
Yeah, fuck yeah, I was tripping. So
it's one of the gnarliest jails in Tijuana, right?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
It's a gnarly jail.
It's one of the gnarliest prisons in the world.
Yeah,
you YouTube it comes up.
Tijuana,
top prison in the world. And
I mean, it's a cartel holding location, basically.
For sure. It was scary. Like thinking about, I'm like, fuck. I cried to my dad, straight up, teared up. You know, when I seen him right before I got on the bus, and was just like, man, I've seen a lot of movies. I was like, this is it. You know, I don't know what's gonna happen in there. Yeah. You know, like fucking, you know, going to prison's one thing, but going to a prison where, you know, language barrier, and then I'm a white guy, and fucking I'm thinking, luckily that played a huge factor for me because Mexico is so poor that, you know, at least Tijuana is so poor. And I'm going in there, and I had, you know, I was white, so I had money. They knew, you know, that's like deodorant, snacks, you know, whatever.
They could get something out of you.
For sure. And so I go to the first holding cell. I'm there for like a week before I get up to my main cell where I was going to spend all my time. And I'm down there, and I'm just with the grungiest crackheads and the nastiest fucking cockroaches and fucking rats the size of squirrels. And it was everyone fighting for food because fucking, you know, all these crackheads weren't eating for so long. Like crackheads go there just to go eat and fucking survive in Mexico because they can't live on the streets, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm just like fucking so grossed out, bed bugs and everything. I'm just like, what the fuck? And the first gang of cartel comes in, and they're telling me, you know, they're like, fucking, they're deep. They live deep into Mexico, you know, and they're up there. They were fucking part of like bombing the cars, like like a year ago, or there was like a bunch of fucking cartel like blowing up shit, you know, in Tijuana and shit. And they're like, no, we don't do that to hurt people. We just send a message to the cops that, you know, they fucking fight the cops in the cartel. And they were just sending messages to the cops, you know, letting them know they're not fucking around.
That's so gnarly.
So they were being all cool with me though. You know, they spoke English a little bit, and they're inviting me into the ranch and saying the cartel fucks with, you know, guys like me, and they want me to come to the ranch.
Some of the dudes knew who you were in there, right? Like,
yeah,
oh,
so
you're the Willie guy.
Yeah,
you're the Willie guy.
They seen me on TV, and my name got around the prison quick. It was crazy. Like
he's here.
Everyone knew. I don't know why it was such a big deal, but it was all over the news. And
the chase.
Yeah. So a couple of them. And I mean, the guards knew who I was. I was like, it was weird that how many people knew who I was. And then I got to my main cell. Like those guys were being cool. They were like saying they have like, I was asking the dumbest questions. Like, you guys got lions, tigers? How much for a monkey? You know, like I'm asking, just trying to keep shit off my mind, you know, just trying to. And I met this kid in there. There's like this kid in there, and he just went and beat this dude. This dude was chasing him with a machete over a parking spot, and then fucking. It was crazy. This kid's like 18, you know, he's in there in prison. His dad wouldn't let him go by himself. So him and his dad go to prison together.
No.
And then it was crazy. After a few months after I got out, he actually wrote me on YouTube, and he got out too.
No way.
I thought he was going to do a few years in there. So it was like kind of cool to actually hear from him. And then I lost contact with him, but the kid was fucking pretty cool, dude. He was all about like all the YouTube guys on this side, like Whistling Diesel, and like he knew like Danny Duncan, like it was crazy. Like
he knew the whole,
yeah, but he was lived in Tijuana, you know, went to school over. I don't even know if he went to school, but he did. That's where he lived.
I don't even know
he
he went to school.
But the kid was badass, you know. He was ready to jump in the cartel and shit. Like he was just with the shit. And his dad actually ended up going to prison in Folsom, which is where I'm from.
Yep.
So he actually was living over here and did prison. It was cool. Like
that's where Mazzetti is.
Yeah,
right
it was crazy. Just like just the shit that I was like, the conversations I was
prison
having
alumni.
there,
We're all one team.
Yeah.
So I ended up going to my cell, and then that's when I met like my cellmates. I was gonna spend all my time, you know. And those guys were like worked for El Chapo for 10 years, killing cops and fucking gnarly shit. Yeah. One of the main dudes was there, and he's doing 8 years right now. He still calls me, you know, once a month. And checks in with me. I call him Papa Grande because he was this big dude. You know, I jumped right in there and started doing burpees, and you know, we were doing 500 burpees in the morning. You just jump into routine because those guys
There's
are spending
nothing else to do.
Those guys are spending 8 years, and you just, you know, it doesn't matter if you're spending 3 weeks, 30 days. There's nothing else to do, and you just go straight into routine. So these guys are showing me the best time of my life for like 30 days. You know, every day they're like trying to get me to smoke meth or heroin or trying to, you know, they're trying to do tattoos, you know. One day they're like, we got porn, you know. And then there's just one morning I wake up and those guys smoke meth all night, and they're just beating their sticks and fucking watching porn. But they got all these curtains. They got these curtains to where they just poke their head out and they're just watching. Dude, it was the craziest experience, I tell you. Like,
no way.
It was. I wish I had YouTube in there to show everyone.
Did you join in on the circle jerk?
No, dude, I was like, one of those things, dude. I was like, how does a curtain? Like, you couldn't just like run out the door and shut the door. It's just like, fuck, bro. Like, I'm in here living this life, bro. And yeah, you just lay there, look at the fucking ceiling, and just like, fuck.
I can't wait to get out of here.
What did I do to deserve this? You know, I didn't do shit. Like, fucking.
The whole time you're thinking, fucking Sea-Bear.
Oh man. Meanwhile, I'm talking to Sea-Bear and my dad, and they're fucking out doing cars and coffee. They're at my house.
Just bought a Corvette.
Yeah,
he bought a brand new Corvette or something.
Yeah, and they're at my favorite breakfast spot. You know, I'm talking on the phone. I'm just like, fuck you guys, dude. Fuck.